Today we're diving into something every man needs to understand. How high-value men, not just any men, but the real deal, talk to women. Modern dating is full of confusion, drama, and emotional roller coasters. But here's the kicker. High-value men handle it differently. And guess what? They do it with the power of stoicism. This isn't about playing games, trying to be someone you're not, or pretending to be cool. No cheesy pickup lines, no fake confidence, just pure, unshakable power. I'm going to give you 10 critical ways to talk to women like a high-value man and master conversations by controlling your emotions. By the end of this, you won't just be a guy who women are interested in, you'll be the guy they're chasing. Modern dating is broken, but we're here to fix that. Stick around, and I promise you'll leave with practical strategies that change the game for you. Let's get started. Number 1. Calm confidence in conversations. Let's start with the foundation of being a high-value man. Calm confidence. If you're reacting emotionally to every little thing a woman says or does, you've already lost. Here's a controversial truth. Women are drawn to emotional control, not emotional chaos. In today's world, where everyone's hooked on social media, validation, and drama, men who keep their cool are rare, and women notice that. When you talk to a woman, never let her see you sweat. You're in control. When she tests your patience, when she's teasing you or throwing some wild curveball your way, stay calm. The reason high-value men thrive in conversations with women is simple. They don't react emotionally. Women aren't just looking for someone who's fun to be around. They're wired to look for a man who can handle pressure. When you maintain your composure, especially in awkward or high-tension situations, you're telling her, I'm not like everyone else. I'm solid. Imagine a moment when you're out with her, and the conversation takes a weird turn. Maybe she makes a comment that could throw most men off. If you stay centered, smile, and respond calmly, you've already shown her more value than any flashy outfit or impressive job ever could. When you're in a conversation and feel the urge to explain yourself, justify your actions, or react emotionally, pause, breathe. Let your response come from a place of calm control, and watch how your words carry more weight. Number 2, speaking with purpose. Here's where most men fail. They talk way too much. High-value men don't speak just to fill the silence. When they talk to women, every word has a purpose. They don't ramble. They don't flood the conversation with meaningless chatter. They speak when it matters, and they let the silence work for them. This is one of the most overlooked tactics in modern dating, but it's incredibly powerful. Silence, when used correctly, communicates confidence. It shows that you're comfortable in your skin, that you don't need validation or approval from her. And that's rare. In a world where everyone's trying to outtalk and overshare, a man who speaks with purpose stands out. Women are tired of hearing the same lines, the same compliments, the same old routine. Here's a practical example. Instead of telling her how pretty she is, like every other guy does, say something real, something impactful. You have a really interesting perspective. I'd love to hear more. Now, she's intrigued. You've opened the door for a deeper conversation, and she wants to share. Practice speaking less. Focus on listening more than you talk. When you do speak, make sure it's thoughtful, meaningful, and purposeful. You'll find that women respect you more when you leave space for silence. Number 3, emotionally detached. Let's talk about rejection. Here's where most men fall apart. They fear it, they dread it, and when it happens, they let it destroy their confidence. But high-value men? They don't care about rejection. Why? Because rejection doesn't define them. It's not personal, and it's certainly not a reflection of their worth. High-value men understand that not every woman is going to be interested, and that's fine. When a woman isn't feeling it, they don't fall apart. They smile, nod, and move on. Think about it. Why let one interaction determine your value? The truth is, women are more attracted to men who are unfazed by rejection because it shows emotional strength. When you're unaffected, you communicate that your confidence comes from within, not from external validation. That's incredibly rare today. Women are so used to men who crumble when they hear no, that when they see someone who doesn't even flinch, it makes them curious. If a woman can sense that rejection will crush you, she's going to lose respect immediately. But when she sees that you can walk away confidently, even after being turned down, it shifts the dynamic. You become the man who doesn't need her approval to feel good about himself. This is where you set yourself apart. The Stoic man is always prepared to lose, and that's because he's not emotionally invested in the outcome of a single interaction. He knows his confidence isn't tied to one woman, one date, or one moment. He's playing the long game, and women can sense that. Rejection becomes irrelevant because he understands the bigger picture. His emotional detachment makes him stand out, and suddenly the woman who rejected him is second-guessing her decision. The moment you show that rejection doesn't shake you, you've turned the tables, and that kind of confidence is magnetic. When you face rejection, don't react negatively or emotionally. Instead, smile, thank her for her time, and walk away with your head held high. This isn't just about being polite. It's about sending a clear message. You're not easily affected. You're someone who doesn't place your self-worth in someone else's hands, and that's powerful. Number 4. Maintaining composure in any situation. How many times have you been in a heated moment, maybe during a date or a disagreement, and felt the urge to explode emotionally? Most men lose their cool. They let the situation control them, and in doing so, they lose control over how they're perceived. But here's what you need to know. Composure is power. In today's drama-filled dating world, the man who keeps his cool wins every time. Women are constantly testing men, pushing their emotional buttons to see how they'll react. The moment you get defensive, the moment you start losing your cool, you lose respect. High-value men stay cool no matter what. Even when the conversation gets tense, they don't break. If she's challenging you, stay calm. If she's testing you, don't flinch. You're in control. Women are attracted to men who can handle themselves under pressure. That's the mark of a high-value man. Practice composure in everyday conflicts. The next time someone irritates you, don't react immediately. Stay calm, give it some space, and see how much more control you feel over the outcome. Number 5. Active listening. We live in a world of constant distraction. Smartphones, social media, endless notifications, and everyone is always in a rush to say the next thing. But here's a fact that can completely change how women perceive you. One of the most attractive qualities a man can have is being fully present in a conversation. When a high-value man talks to a woman, he's not just physically there. He's 100% mentally there too. He listens, he engages, and he makes her feel like she's the only person in the room. That level of attention is incredibly rare these days, and because of that, it's incredibly valuable. Here's the reality. Most guys are just waiting for their turn to speak. They're nodding along, but in their head, they're already thinking about the next thing they're going to say. But when you actively listen, without interrupting or mentally preparing your next line, you immediately separate yourself from the pack. You're showing her that you're different from every other guy she's ever spoken to. In a world where women often feel unheard, giving them your full attention is a game changer. And it's not just about nodding along, it's about making her feel like what she's saying matters. Maintaining eye contact, giving thoughtful responses, and even asking follow-up questions that show you're paying attention tells her you're invested in what she's saying. That level of engagement makes her feel valued and appreciated, and that's where the connection really starts to happen. Practice active listening by maintaining eye contact and responding thoughtfully. Put your phone away, resist the urge to check it, and don't let your mind drift off to what you're going to say next. Just be present. You'll notice how much more engaged she becomes when she feels you're genuinely interested in what she has to say, and it sets the stage for a deeper, more meaningful connection. Number 6. Stoic body language. Body language speaks louder than words. In fact, most communication is non-verbal. Before you even open your mouth, your body is already sending a message. And here's the kicker. Most men are completely unaware of how much they communicate without speaking. The way you stand, the way you move, the way you maintain or avoid eye contact, these all send signals, and women pick up on them instantly. High-value men command attention, not just through what they say, but how they carry themselves. Are you standing tall, or are you slouching? Are your movements deliberate and controlled, or are you fidgeting? Is your eye contact confident and unwavering, or are you shifting your gaze nervously? All of these small, seemingly insignificant details make a massive difference in how women perceive you before you've even spoken a word. Now picture this. You walk into a room. You're not saying a thing, but because of the way you carry yourself, people take notice. This is the power of body language. High-value men know that their presence alone can speak volumes. They don't need to fidget, they don't slump their shoulders, and they certainly don't avoid eye contact. Instead, they stand tall, move with intention, and maintain steady, confident eye contact. It's like you're telling the world, I'm in control, and I'm not easily shaken. Women are visual creatures. They read into these physical cues more than you might think. If your body language shows nervousness, insecurity, or lack of confidence, they'll pick up on it immediately. But when you display calm, controlled, and deliberate movements, they sense that you're confident, composed, and completely comfortable in your own skin. This kind of non-verbal communication is immensely attractive. Here's another key detail. Speed matters. Men who rush through their movements, whether it's walking, talking, or even gesturing, often come across as anxious or uncertain. High-value men, on the other hand, move slowly and deliberately. Their actions are measured and purposeful. Whether they're reaching for a drink, adjusting their posture, or turning to look someone in the eye, every movement is done with confidence and control. There's no hurry, no nervous energy. This calm, unhurried demeanor is a subtle yet powerful indicator of their self-assurance. Pay close attention to your body language. Practice standing tall, making strong eye contact, and moving with intention. Slow down your movements, take your time, and let each action be purposeful. By doing this, you'll instantly boost your presence and start commanding the room before you even speak. This will not only make you more attractive to women, but will also shift the way you're perceived by everyone around you. Number 7. Mastering emotional control. We've all been in situations where emotions run high, dramas pulling you in, tensions are escalating, and you feel like you're about to lose control. Most men fall into that trap. They get defensive, they lash out, or worse, they let their emotions completely dictate their actions. In those moments, they're not in control, their emotions are, and that's where they lose. But here's the thing, high-value men don't let emotions control them. They understand that emotional control is their most powerful weapon. Here's something you need to realize. Women are naturally drawn to emotional strength. They want to see if you can keep it together when things get tough. Think about it. How many guys do you know who react emotionally to the smallest thing? It's common. But when you're the man who can keep his cool, stay calm, and refuse to get pulled into the chaos, you instantly stand out. In a world full of men who crumble under pressure, you become the exception. When a woman tests you emotionally, it's not because she wants you to fail. It's because she's trying to see if you can handle the pressure. She wants to know if you're the kind of man who will stand strong in the face of emotional turmoil, or if you'll fold. If you get emotional, react impulsively, or lose your temper, she'll see you as just another guy who can't handle stress. But if you remain calm, composed, and rational, she'll start to see you as someone different, someone who's in control, no matter what. High-value men understand that emotions are fleeting, and getting swept up in them only leads to poor decision-making. The ability to detach from emotional chaos and remain logical is one of the most attractive qualities you can have. Imagine being in the middle of a heated argument, and instead of raising your voice or getting defensive, you pause, think, and respond calmly. That shows strength, real strength, and it's rare. Here's the harsh truth. Women want to be with a man who can protect them, not just physically but emotionally too. If you're easily swayed by emotions, how can you offer that protection? You need to show that you're grounded, unshakable, and that no amount of emotional drama can knock you off balance. This doesn't mean you ignore her emotions, but it does mean you don't let her emotions become your emotions. You stay centered. You stay in control. The next time drama enters the conversation, whether it's with a woman, a friend, or even at work, take a moment to step back. Don't engage emotionally. Breathe. Stay calm and respond with logic, not emotion. You'll notice that not only do you gain more control over the situation, but you also command more respect from those around you. The ability to rise above emotional chaos is what separates high-value men from the rest. When you refuse to get sucked into the drama, you're not just protecting yourself, you're showing her that you can protect her too, and that's a game changer. Number 8. Asking thoughtful questions. Most guys ask the same old boring questions. What do you do for work? What's your favorite movie? But here's the deal. High-value men go deeper. They ask thoughtful, meaningful questions that spark real conversations. They're genuinely interested in the person they're talking to, and they use questions to create connection. Women are used to surface-level conversations, so when you come in with something more meaningful, it catches them off guard. They're used to guys skimming the surface, never diving into what really makes them tick. When you show a genuine interest, it tells her you're not like everyone else. You're not just trying to pass the time or impress her with typical small talk. You're actually curious about her as a person, about what makes her unique. Here's why it's important. Asking thoughtful questions opens up a path for her to express herself in ways most men don't allow. When you dive deeper, you get to know her on a level that makes her feel seen and appreciated. And when a woman feels understood, she's more connected to you. She'll remember that conversation long after it's over, simply because you gave her the space to talk about the things that matter to her. For example, instead of the usual, "What do you do for fun?" ask, "What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet?" Or, "What's a passion you've had since you were a kid?" These kinds of questions make her think and invite her to share a piece of herself that most guys never ask about. Skip the small talk. Go deeper. Ask her about her dreams, her passions, or what really drives her in life. You'll find that the conversation becomes much more engaging, memorable, and authentic. Number 9. Confidence without ego. Here's the thing about confidence. It's everything. But ego? That's a killer. High-value men are confident, but they don't need to prove it. They don't boast. They don't try to dominate the conversation, and they don't need external validation. Their confidence speaks for itself, quietly and effectively. This is the kind of confidence that isn't loud or flashy. It's solid. It's the confidence of a man who knows his worth, but doesn't feel the need to advertise it. When you exude that kind of energy, Women naturally take notice. You don't need to tell her you're great. She can see it in the way you carry yourself. One of the biggest mistakes men make is mistaking ego for confidence. They think that by bragging or showing off, they'll earn respect or admiration. But here's the controversial truth. The more you try to prove yourself, the more you reveal your insecurity. Bragging about your job, your car, your status, it doesn't impress women, it repels them. True confidence is knowing you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You walk into the room already knowing your value, and that quiet assurance is far more attractive than any boastful words could ever be. Women are turned off by arrogance. They can see right through it. They want a man who knows who he is and is comfortable in his own skin without feeling the need to shout it from the rooftops. When you're quietly confident, when you allow your actions and demeanor to speak louder than words, that's when you stand out in the best possible way. Next time you're tempted to brag or seek validation, don't. Let your actions speak for you. Focus on staying humble, letting your quiet confidence radiate. You'll find that women are far more intrigued and drawn to your genuine self-assurance than any ego-driven attempt to impress. When you exude this kind of understated confidence, you'll command more respect and attention without having to lift a finger. Number 10. End with grace. Lastly, how you end a conversation is crucial, and it's where a lot of men get it wrong. Too many men overstay their welcome, thinking that if they keep talking, they'll eventually say the right thing to impress her. But here's the hard truth. The longer you drag it out, the more likely you are to make things awkward. High-value men know when to end a conversation gracefully, leaving the woman intrigued and wanting more. You don't need to force it. You don't cling to the interaction, beg for validation, or try to squeeze out one last compliment or joke to keep her interested. High-value men understand the power of leaving on a high note. When you exit a conversation naturally and confidently, you leave her thinking, "Wow, I want to know more about him." That's how you create lasting impressions. Ending a conversation gracefully doesn't mean cutting things off abruptly. It's about reading the room, sensing when the conversation has peaked, and wrapping it up smoothly. Instead of dragging on and hoping for a perfect moment, you create that moment by leaving at the right time. Think of it like this. It's better to leave her wondering about you, craving another interaction, than to wear out your welcome and make the conversation feel forced or dull. Women remember how a conversation ends. That's the last impression they take with them. So, when you end with confidence, you leave her with a positive memory, and that's what will make her think about you afterward. You're not the guy who tried too hard or overstayed his welcome. You're the guy who left on his terms, gracefully and naturally. Practice ending things on a high note. Know when to leave, and do it confidently. Smile, give a warm but brief goodbye, and walk away. Let her be the one thinking about what you didn't say and wanting to know more. It's always better to leave her wanting more than to stick around too long and lose the magic. So, there you have it. 10 powerful ways to talk to women like a high-value man by applying Stoic principles. Remember, it's not about what you say, but how you say it, how you carry yourself, and how you handle pressure. Women are naturally drawn to men who are in control of their emotions and don't let external factors dictate their worth. Be that man. If you're serious about transforming your dating life and becoming a high-value man, hit that subscribe button right now. Leave a comment below about which tip resonated with you the most. And if you're ready for more, check out our other videos on leveling up your mindset, improving your confidence, and living the life you deserve. Thanks for watching.